I'll speak in English. I don't know enough Spanish. I can invite those who are sitting at the back. There are a lot of seats here. I want to make sure that you all fall asleep, so come over here. I will speak today is the situation of education in Israel, our challenges, and we have challenges in Israel. And we'll then describe you a little bit of what we're doing at the Davidson Institute. So first of all, a little bit about the Weizmann Institute, which we are the educational arm of the Weizmann Institute. I understood a little bit of what was presented before, that there were some information about the Weizmann Institute, but it is a science research institute, chemistry, biology, physics, math, computer science, and archaeology. We have at the Weizmann Institute, it's one of the first leading research institutes, and I'll show you that in a minute, with 238 research groups working on different issues. One of the ways how you measure a university, there are several ways to measure universities in different places in the world. Sometimes you measure how many students you have in the university, how good are the teachers in the university, and many other ways to measure university. But the best way to measure university is by what we are calling, as scientists, citation index. And citation index is an index that measures your research papers that are published in a scientific journal. They measure how good are the journals that you publish your paper, how many papers you publish, and also how many times your paper is cited by other scientists. And if that happened a lot, it means that your your work is a good work. So taking all this, and there is a citation index for each one. I have a citation index. Every scientist has a citation index. But there is also a ranking of universities around the world, and this work is being done for years by an institute in Netherlands. And between 2006 and 2009, they measure 3 years, the Weizmann Institute was at the 90th place in the world. Most of the universities that were ranked above are from United States, but also from London, and from Zurich in Switzerland. 2007 to 2010, Weizmann is already in the 15th place or position. 2008, 2011, it's already at the 12th position in the world. And then in 2009 to 2012, 13th point. And recently it was published between 2010 and 2013, and Weizmann Institute is the 10th in the world. All the 9s above Weizmann are American. The best one is MIT, Harvard, Stanford, California, Princeton, and after Weizmann, London, Lausanne in Switzerland, Oxford, Cambridge, very well-known universities. So we are very proud that these are the Weizmann Institute, or are we doing an impact, scientific impact? And Weizmann shows very well that it has done, or is doing a big impact. Side by side to the Weizmann Institute is the Davidson Institute, where I am the general director. I was doing research for many, many years in the Hebrew University, also a good institute, scientifically not as good as Weizmann, but a little bit less, but still one of the best in the world. And I was doing science, and I have fun, and I enjoyed every minute that I was doing research, until I got a telephone call from Professor Harari, who used to be the president of the Weizmann Institute for many years, and he asked me to come and be the director of the Davidson Institute, because they decided to merge a lot of scientific educational activities at the Weizmann Institute under one umbrella. It took me 2 weeks to give him an answer, because I really love to do science. And I knew that if I'm coming to the Weizmann Institute, instead of doing 100% of my time science, maybe 150% of my time science, I will do maybe 5%, and the rest will be dedicated to education. And I'm going to leave something that I liked very much, but I decided to do that. And I continue to say all the time that I'm really sorry that I left science, because I really loved it, and I missed it, and I miss it. But I'm very happy that I came to education, because that is the future of us as a country and the future of the world. And in a minute, you will understand why it's so important nowadays for Israel. So, looking at Israel at the present, you saw Weizmann, you saw number of scientists and engineers for every 10,000 people. We are above United States, Japan, and Germany. We have a lot of scientists and a lot of engineers. Citation ranking, as we spoke, Israel in the middle. It's not only Weizmann, all the universities, and we are really in the middle, and we are good as well. We are 0.1% of the population in the world, but 4% of the Nobel laureates, and I'm not speaking about Nobel for Peace, that, you know, only us can get Nobel for Peace, because we're fighting all the time. Countries that New Zealand will never, the Prime Minister of New Zealand will never get Nobel Prize for Peace. So I'm excluding those kind of Nobel Prize. Still we are 4%. We are 1.13 of the scientific publication of the worldwide. We are 0.1% of the population, but 10 times much scientific publication. We are 10th place, 11th place ranking on number of patents, total number of patents, and we are called by other countries startup nation. And that's the present situation. So we're very proud, we are really good, but the question that I'm asking all the time, will it be preserved, and will it be also in the year 2030, 2040? And now I'm going, until now you are smiling, now you're going to change the face, because at the present we are not so good. And what's the present? The present are the kids. Those who are 15 years old, and maybe get Nobel Prizes in 50 years, or maybe will be scientists not only at the Weizmann Institute, will be scientists in the startup nation, in the pharma industry, in the high-tech industry, all over. And will we be able to continue to be such a good country, a startup nation? There is a test, a PISA test. I'm not sure that you are aware of that. It's an OECD test done in many countries. And Israel, see what's happened in the 2009. We are almost at the bottom. We are not good at the moment. Comparison of high achieving students, we are not as good as we did in the past. We are low in the list, and the gap in the achievement between the best and the low one are not, we are first place. So we are not in a good situation. And just to give you one of our problem is teaching chemistry. Chemistry is very important for us, because I don't know if you know that company Teva, it's a worldwide big company, and they need chemists as many as, I don't know, the stars in the sky. And we're not able to teach kids nowadays chemistry because there are not enough teachers. Look here at this graph. The red triangles are the how many teachers above the age of 52, and you see that the numbers are growing in the last 10 years. You look at the young teachers, the number of the young teachers, it's in blue, and the numbers decreases. And we don't have teachers, enough chemistry teachers. Look here at the number of schools that teach chemistry. In the state schools, 50% are able to teach chemistry. All the rest are not able to teach chemistry. In the Jewish Orthodox, only 15%. The Arab school are a little bit better. 70% of the schools can teach chemistry. And when I'm speaking about teaching chemistry, that in Israel the system is different from here. When you move from junior high school to high school, you decide what you study for major. It's not like here that all the curriculum for everyone is the same. We are choosing, when we move to high school, choosing science, choosing social studies, etc. And we need teachers for chemistry for those kids who want to study chemistry as a major in high school. And we don't have enough. And if we will not change this attitude, in 20 years we won't have enough chemists to work in Teva. And the director of Teva, the previous one that is a good friend of mine, told me a few years ago that in 20 years we either will import chemists from India or will export our industry to India to be done there. So that is, to my opinion, it's threatening our country. Just another problem that we are facing, and hopefully that will be solved, the decrease in number of kids who are studying mathematics as a major. And in 5 years or 10 years, it was decreased by 25%. And now we are making a big effort to change the attitude, and our plan is that by the year 2019 or 2018, we will have 18,000 kids who study major in mathematics. And as you know, or you maybe not know, that in Israel, in order to go to study in the Technion or Hebrew University and Weizmann science, if you are not taking major in mathematics, you will not be accepted. So it's really important for us, and now it's an effort of many organizations, and thanks God, also the Ministry of Education is pushing forward to change the situation in mathematics. So we are in a circle. Wherever you want to start in this circle, it's a bad situation. Let's say that decrease in number of teaching diplomas, and that decreases the number of teachers, and that decreases the number of kids. If there are no teachers, there are no kids. Decreases the number of kids, that decreases the number of university students. All those who finish chemistry will go and be chemists in the industry. None of them will come and be a teacher. No teacher, no students, etc. And we have definitely to break this circle, which is really threatening us. And the problem, one of the problems that we are facing, just to bring you to have a smile on your face, Albert Einstein said that it's a miracle that curiosity survived formal education, and that's another problem that we all together have to overcome. So what is the Davidson Institute? The Davidson Institute is, our mission is not to teach, not knowledge. That's something that I'm all the time repeating again and again everywhere that I'm going. We want to inspire curiosity and creativity. We want the kids to know to ask questions. Nowadays, when some of us, I put myself as an old man, when I was young, and maybe 50 years earlier, teacher was God. He knew everything. He was the one to teach the kids. Nowadays, that's God. Google is God. Google knows everything, much more than the teachers. And when a teacher teaches a class and said that the French Revolution was in the year, before he ends the year, that's to say the year, kids found it on Google. So he is not the one who knows everything. And he has to change, we have to change the attitude. The teacher is more of a mentor, more of somebody that helps the kids to ask questions and find the answer and know what to do with the knowledge that they have. And we are trying to change this trend and inspire curiosity and creativity. The story of Davidson Institute actually started at Weizmann Institute 50 years ago. It's something newer than one institute, but the activities started in 1964. Youth activities, it called. It was the first bringing into the institute some young kids in order to give them courses, afternoon courses. It was really the first institute in Israel and maybe one of the first in the world to do that. Then in 1972, Perach, that Armando just described, was established. And then in 1999, we opened the Clave Garden of Science. It's an open-air museum. And then in 2001, there was a beginning of Davidson Institute working only with teachers. And then in 2008, all the activities were under the umbrella of the Davidson Institute. And I keep saying that we are the educational arm of the Weizmann Institute of Science. And the uniqueness here is that there is a scientific institute that keep telling the world and itself that education is part of its mission. If you will bring in here to this room all the presidents of all the universities in Mexico, United States, United Kingdom, and the rest of the world, and ask them, do you think that education is important? They will say, definitely. Do you think it's your mission? They will say, no. It's a mission of somebody else. It's important, but we have to do research. It's none of our business. 100% or little less than 100% of the institute in the world would say so. But in Weizmann Institute, starting 50 years ago, so it's not the present president, all the presidents, everybody keep telling that education is important. And that's something very unique that as I told you, grew up at the Hebrew University. We did very little at the Hebrew University. And when I came to Weizmann, I understood that it's in the DNA of the institute. And the president is saying it's one arm of the Weizmann Institute. And that's very unique. One story that I can tell you that a few years ago I was in a meeting of CEO of science centers. And I saw that in the program, the first thing in the morning is a panel of how do we connect science centers to science? I didn't understand what they're talking about. What do you mean, how do you connect science centers to science? Aren't they connected? And I went in and I realized that I'm living in heaven. They great science centers, but they are not connected to science. We are in the middle of science. Our campuses are on the campus of Weizmann, and the scientists are part of our job. They really believe that they have to be part of what we are doing. And that's something that I didn't find in any other institute in the world. And it's not because of none of any specific personnel. It's something that it's in the DNA of the institute. As you will see, I'm not sure that you are able to see the names. That is the board members of the Davidson Institute. The chairman is the president of the Weizmann Institute, and it's not by incident. And many professors of the Weizmann Institute are in the board of the Davidson Institute, including Professor Ada Yonat, who is Nobel laureate of 2010, I think, maybe 2009. What we are doing, just very shortly, because it's late in the evening and I will not bother you with a lot of information. We are working with teachers, students, and the general public. We are offering a range of activities targeted to this audience. We have over 70 educational programs for more than, here it's written 400,000, it's probably more than 600,000 participating, and more than 1.5 million online visits to our website. We cater science education to all ages, K to 99. And if somebody with the age of 100 will come, we'll accept him. There's a variety of programs throughout the country, and we have also some international program. Just to give you few examples of what we are doing. One of the program is the School of Contemporary Science. That's a program that we are bringing in excellent kids. One of the problems that we have in Israel that we have trends. Everyone is running after trend. And one of the trend is nowadays that excellent kids, good kids, will go and study in the university while they are in high school age. And it's wrong. Only if they're really genius, they should do that. because it's too early and they skip the basis. They have to do first to study the basic study in high school. The reason that many of them are doing that is because of the Yiddish mother. And I keep saying all the time that there are many, many more mothers of excellent kids than excellent kids. They're pushing them. Go and study university in order for them to sit in the meeting in the ambassador house and say, you know what my son is doing? He's in the university. And it's wrong. So what we are suggesting them, it's courses recognized by the Ministry of Education that instead of pushing them up, just widen them with the abilities and giving them other courses, which are part of their matriculation examination. So they get some bonuses for this, taking those kind of courses. We have 700 kids every year, around 700 kids every year in this School of Contemporary Sciences. We are also bringing about 100,000 kids from school kids, normal school kids, not excellent kids, to our laboratories, which are much better equipped than any laboratories in any high school. They're coming for a day or 2 days, depending if they're coming from far away. We have small youth village, like a youth hostel with 80 beds. So kids from far away can come for 2 days because the drive is long and stand with us. And we're offering them programs that they will be engaged to science, that they will understand how science is important. It's not formal, it's not part of the curriculum, but it's enrichment. And we are very happy doing that because we feel that doing that will give, in some cases, give the kids a understanding that science is important and send them maybe to take science as a major when they are going to high school. And one of the things that we are doing, although we have a staff that can teach it, we in many cases bring students from the Weizmann Institute to teach those young kids in order for the young kids to look and see in front of them somebody with an age very close to them. There are maybe 15, 16, and a student who is doing a PhD, maybe 26, 27, and he can stand in front of them with t-shirt, short pants and earring. And at the end of the day, I want the kids to look at him and say, if he can be a student at Weizmann Institute, I can be as well. So they are they are a role model, and that's very important for us. One of the programs that we are doing for a specific population is working with the Ethiopian community. You know that we absorbed a big amount of Ethiopians, and this program is a unique program because in our programs we all the time insist that all programs will be open for everyone. No matter what color he is, what language he speaks, if he's a Jewish, Arabs, Muslims or Christian, everything is open for everyone. And this is the only program that we have that it's open only for a specific community, in this case the Ethiopians, because we want to push this community, and we are working with them for 5 years, from the 8th grade to the 12th grade, and we take the better kids, they are not excellent, but they are better kids, some of them are excellent, and we make sure that they will finish the matriculation examination. 100% of them will go then to the army or to the civil service, and do 2 to 3 years service, and many of them, about 80% of them, continue after the army in the university, and not very few in science. So that's a program that we are very proud with, a big success, and my hope is that one day we will close this program because they will be absorbed in our society and there will no need for this program. One other program, I spoke with the excellent, with the very good kids. We're working with empowering the youth at risk. Working with those who drop out of school, not connected anymore to schools. And what we try to do with them is to bring them back to the society. We never expect that one of them will be a scientist at the end. We don't think that there will be ever, but we want them to get the impression and the feeling that they are able to do something. And recently, one of our guides, employers, went into a gas station and he met somebody that ran into him and said, "You were my guide at Davidson a few years ago," and he's now the head of the head of this tank, this gas station. And he was very proud to say that, see, something came out of me. In many cases, when we're doing the ceremony at the end of the year, the kids and the parents comes to us and say, "You know, that's the first diploma I ever got in my life." And it's very touching, and we continue. That's something that we are doing for the society, not science education. It's using science for education in this case, and we call it in science therapy. It's working with these kind of kids. It's very important. By the way, one day I opened my office and I saw the head of the police station in Rehovot, where we are located, standing on the other side of the door, and I said, "Oh, what did they do?" He was smiling, so I realized that I didn't do that. I said, "Okay, take me." He didn't took me, and he said, "I heard about this program and I want something from you. We have in Rehovot about 40 kids who have criminal files, and I don't know if you are aware, in Israel, if you have a criminal file, you are not able to join the army. And being in the army in Israel is important. It's amazing. As you see, I'm not 25 anymore, and I'm keeping asking, where have you been in the army? What did you do in the army? It's amazing how army is important in our society. So he suggested me that we will take those 40 kids, we'll work with them, and if they will finish the program after the year and behave properly and sign a contract with the police, their criminal file will be waived. Of course, they are not big criminals. It's drugs, smuggling something from the supermarket, and things like that. And we worked with those 40 kids, and they finished the program, and we're happy that they are now back into the society. Science Mobile is traveling the science for schools all around the country. Those who are not able to come to us, we are going to them. We are doing science camps since 1969. This is a picture of an international science camp that we are doing every summer, including Mexican kids, very good Mexican kids who are coming to us. 80 kids from all over the world, excellent kids. They going and work for a month with the scientists in their lab. At the end of the month, they are writing a paper, scientific paper. Many of them are participating then or taking then science as major, study university, become professors. And I'll go back to the story that I told you a few minutes ago about the meeting in Belgium, where I didn't understand how to connect Science Center to science. After this panel, I raised my hand and I wanted to ask or make a comment. And I said, I'm from the Davidson Institute, the educational arm of the Weizmann Institute, and one of the people who was on the panel said, stop, before you were asking, are you the one that's responsible for the International Summer Science Camp? I said, yes, we are doing that. He said, okay, give me a few minutes. I said, okay. And he said that he was 20 years ago in this camp, and he described the 500 people sitting there. What is this camp? When he finished that, he did it in 2 or 3 minutes, another 10 people in the audience said, I was there also. So it's something that that's a time that you feel that you're doing an impact. Even though I was not in 69 there. It's not me. We have a safe cracking tournament. It's an amazing tournament. It's an international tournament. Kids are getting a box at the beginning of the year, groups of 5 all over the world, and they have to build a safe that size. That's the only way to open it, to break into it, is using physical laws. So they build it. Building it, it's a big thing. The kids are always saying that through this process, they learned more physics than they ever learned in school, and then they come to us, and there is 2 days competition. They try to break into other teams' safes, and there are other teams trying to break into their safe. And it's an amazing tournament. Now I think 15 or 16 countries around the world, and hopefully Mexico will participate one day as well. We are working with teachers. I will not go into it, even though it's very, very important working with the teachers, because when you influence one teacher, you influence so many kids. So we're working with the teacher. Most of the professionals develop the in-service activities or courses that teachers are taking, science teachers are taking, we are doing it. So every summer we have 3,000 science teachers in our campus, and it's very important to us, and I think also to the teacher. We have the Garden of Science, the Clave Garden of Science. It's an open-air museum, the first one in the world. A tiny example of this Clave Garden is you have here in the sports center here in Mexico City, the Jewish Sports Center. So it's amazing place to visit. And we have an online learning. We're doing a lot with on the online. We have we call it Davidson Online, 1.5 million unique visits. We are giving answers to any scientific question, and we are approaching all the time. We are looking what's happening around. For example, recently there was a polio issue in Israel, and parents didn't know if to vaccinate their kids or not. There was a big issue in Israel, and people didn't know the story. So we didn't give our instruction or our opinion, should they or should not, but we explain what the polio is, what the vaccine is, just giving the audience, the population information. So we are giving there a lot of activity. One example of online learning is a program which is called, and was mentioned by Armando, Mass by Mail. It used to be by mail, now it's on the web. Kids are getting booklets through the web, and they are answering and working with a booklet. It's not connected to the curriculum. It's just what we call mass fun of mathematics and fun of science. And I want to end. Now it's your part. Until now I was speaking and you were listening. Now it's your turn. Recently we developed the brain application. It's an app on the cell phone in Hebrew, not in other languages yet. Recently we are thinking of translating it to English, and now South Korean company want to translate it to, I don't know what language is there, Korean language. And the issue is in this application that it's not quiz. And we are asking you a question. If you don't know the answer, we encourage you to go and Google it. Go and ask friends. It's not something that you have to, it's not quiz. We are not judging your knowledge. It's not like, when was the French Revolution and you have to remember that. No. If you know, good. If you're not, go and find it. Go and learn about it. Go and find out what it is. And it was a major success. When the people who got the idea in my institute came to me and asked me for money, because it costs money, and it was great. And I thought, okay, how many people will download it? And they said, we hope that 5,000 will download it. And I said, I want to be a little bit more fresh, and maybe 10,000. I'm jumping now to a meeting that I was about 4 weeks ago in Montreal. And somebody from the United States said that he created an application for education, and he was very proud that the whole United States, 170,000 people download the application. And I was smiling to myself, because in the small country, Israel, this application, 400,000 people downloaded it. Amazing success. I know that some of them, maybe many of them, did the first steps and left it. But still, people now, 4 months after we did it, or we invented it, we still keep putting more questions, and people are very happy with this. After a while, we understood that it's too complicated. And I understood that it's too complicated when the president of the Weizmann Institute, when I was speaking with him one of the days, he told me, "What's going on? I'm stuck. I don't know what the answer. And it's too hard. Do something simpler." So then we invented the junior brain. It's for kids, but probably also for many adults who want to be a kid and are able to solve the question. So what I did here, I translated some of the question to English, and let's see how good you are here in the audience. What is that? You see this on the screen. You have to answer you have to understand the question, and the letters are in beneath. So it's a word. It's not number. So what is it?
Infinity.
Infinity. Okay, that was easy to start with. What is that? Archimedes. Archimedes, or how you say it in Archimedes in Hebrew. Archimedes. Everybody knows what the story is here? Okay. Good. What is that?
5 in a square.
25.
Ah, you heard it today.
Four sides and 5.
No, 4 sides is 5 not.
Equal quadrado to 25.
5 in a square, so it's 25. Okay. Armando! What is that? Five. Root of 5. Okay. Junior is simple. What is that? Why? Because that's true, because Nobel invented the dynamite. Okay. Ah.
How many bones?
And you... What the question should be? Great. The question is, how many bones human being has? No one knows that here. I didn't know it either. Nobody would know that. Google it. Go and study. Go and learn. And when you Google it, it's not just in number. What is 550 nanometer? First of all, not everybody knows here what is nanometer. Okay. Okay, so you have to have it Google it. I don't expect that anyone here will know it. That's what is the wavelength, what color has a wavelength of 550 nanometer? And the answer is green. Green, yes, that's the wavelength. Now, you can ask yourself, some of you would probably ask yourself, what's the nanometer? What is wavelength of a color? Go and Google it tonight before you go to sleep. What is that? Pavlov, right? And what is that? Weizmann, and that will be